The Trump administration has frozen United States Agency of International Development, or the USAID operations, crippling the world's largest humanitarian programs. But what is USAID and why has it become Trump's latest casualty? Let's begin from the very start. Why was USAID created? Well, it was established by President John F. Kennedy during the Cold War in 1961 to counter Soviets' influence through foreign assistance. Congress passed the Foreign Assistance Act to formalize this effort, making USAID an independent agency. Although the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, USAID continued to thrive, playing a key role in US foreign policy, albeit a controversial one. So I know you're all wondering, what does USAID do? Well, it's by far the largest humanitarian and development arm of the US government, with a workforce of approximately 10,000 people around the world and an annual budget of tens of billions of dollars. In some regions, it supplies food, shelter, and access to clean water. In others, it supports global networks of disease surveillance and biomedical research that help local populations. Critics say that USAID has practiced a form of soft power worldwide, allowing America to keep a friendly presence in developing countries, including countries that are key strategic allies. So which countries are we talking about here? Well, the USAID had projects in around 130 countries in 2023, according to the Congressional Research Service. In 2023, 70 of the 77 countries the World Bank determined to be low and lower middle income countries received USAID assistance. The scope of USAID's work is extensive: war relief in Ukraine, peace building in Somalia, disease surveillance in Cambodia, vaccination efforts in Nigeria, HIV prevention in Uganda, maternal health assistance in Zambia. I can go on and on. That list is very, very long. So did USAID also have a role in India? Well, several reports indicate that over the last 15 years, USAID granted more than $270 million to organizations affiliated with George Soros. One such organization, the East-West Management Institute, partnered with Soros's Open Society Foundations and received USAID funding. This revelation has fueled concerns over the US government's role in political movements. In America, a Senator, John Kennedy, has claimed that USAID also funded transgender clinics in India. And then you have a former US State Department official, Mike Pence, who's claimed that he has proof of USAID's direct interference in Indian affairs and how opposition-fueled protests were funded. All of this has led to the BJP alleging that USAID funded organizations that created unrest in India.
कांग्रेस पार्टी, यूएसएड और सोरोस फाउंडेशन के साथ मिलकर देश को टुकड़े टुकड़े करना चाहती है। मेरा आपके माध्यम से सरकार से आग्रह है कि इतने वर्षों में यूएसएड ने जिसको पैसा दिया उसकी जांच हो और उन सबों को सलाखों के पीछे रखे। आपने मुझे मौका दिया। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
So where does all this money come from? Well, the Congress approves USAID's funding each year. The humanitarian agency then works with Congress and the White House to set its investment priorities, while the State Department provides it with foreign policy guidance. The money is paid out through grants, through contracts, and cooperative agreements. In 2023, the agency disbursed a whopping $44 billion. Ukraine was the top recipient, receiving almost 37% of that funding. Close to $17 billion in USAID funding in 2023 went to addressing governance issues, is what has been quoted, noting that most of that, again, was headed to Ukraine. Additionally, around $10.5 billion went to addressing humanitarian issues. $7 billion was set aside for health, $1.3 billion went to agriculture. Other major programs funded or managed by USAID in 2023 include $811 million for the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, and more than $330 million in emergency food and nutrition assistance for Afghanistan. So if they're doing so much humanitarian work, why is Trump against USAID? On January 20th, his first day in office, Trump issued an executive order implementing a 90-day freeze, a 3-month freeze on foreign assistance programs. According to the order, and I'm reading it out, the United States foreign aid industry and bureaucracy are not aligned with American interests and in many cases antithetical to American values. Tech billionaire Elon Musk, who helms the Department of Government Efficiency, has fired off a series of posts on X that accuse the agency of corruption, referring to them as a criminal organization and a crazy waste of money. Trump has been a long-time critic of overseas spending. During his first term, Trump sought to cut foreign aid spending by a third, but his efforts were thwarted by the Congress. In response, his administration used budget freezes and other tactics to restrict the flow of already approved funds. This move was later ruled illegal under the Impoundment Control Act by the General Accounting Office. So clearly another legal battle looming. The fate of USAID at this point remains 100% uncertain.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.